In this video, I want to give you a more subtle and powerful version of what karma is, so you can actually use it for create actual change in your life. To start with, most people think that karma is just an action and a reaction, like a cause and effect, and that definitely is karma. But that will bring us just to the typical religious behavioral ethics, like do good things and good things happen to you, and do bad things. It's a bit more subtle and complicated than that. And most important, let me explain you how this can actually be, you can implement this without being in a religion and without following any moral conduct. So the basic problem is that we think the life is random. We think that the universe is just chaotic, especially our science leave us some gaps here and there. And religions, actually, I don't think they are so good at explaining, at least for our mind, for 21st century mind. It's not really good explanations. So we are constantly subject to changes in our life, like things happen to you, right? All the time, good things and bad things. Well, but we normally don't get to understand why things happen. And let me narrow this to something more practical. Think about something that is not working for you. Think about something that is repeating over and over again. For example, a classical thing would be money. Many people will say, I never have enough money. And whenever I get to save money, I end up spending it. Oh, no matter how much you earn, you end up having just enough. And if you find that there are certain patterns that are repeating in your life, this is where the moyo is. This is where you can change things. And now the question is how you do that. Well, basically the first thing, you need to be a little open-minded to understand this and start a bit ready to not thinking that everything that happens is just random and chaos and you actually are a perfect being and you deserve all the good. And when something bad happens, it's because of these people or the government or anything else. So if you start taking your power back to yourself of your own experience, you're going to realize that actually sometimes you're thinking, why this happened all the time to me? Do you have any thought like that? Have you ever say like, oh, why is this always happening to me? So first thing is that you catch yourself having that thought like, oh, always I attract this sort of like weird people, or especially when you have friends that say they change the job and still they get the same sort of annoying people around them, bothering them and creating them problems. Whenever you find that you are constantly going to a new environment, still getting the same results as if it was your fate or something like that, this is the part where you should kind of figure out that is. And let me go back to the example of money. So let's say someone would say, no matter how hard I try, I don't get to earn enough money, or I cannot find a way of earning money. And if I earn more money, it's just going to go out of my hands very quickly. So just realize that I'm always going to be kind of surviving until the end of the month or something like that. The first thing is catching yourself with that, having that thought and understanding your behavior. And the first thing you want to is to notice when you trigger that thought. And in the case of money would be whenever you're exchanging money, meaning you're receiving money or you're giving money away, like paying stuff. If you really watch your mind in that moment, you're going to notice there are certain patterns that trigger. And that patterns are, for example, when you're paying, you're like, oh, I'm losing money. It's always the same. I will never have enough. Always the money gets out of me. There's a kind of like things we don't even notice that we're thinking because we thought them for such a long. That's a bit of a feeling, like, I need to pay that. Oh, you feel poorer because to pay stuff. That's not necessarily the way it has to be. For example, you could be thinking, okay, you feel you have a fine. Actually, it had happened a bunch of times to me. Have a fine from traffic or something like that, and instead of thinking, "Oh, damn, I'm gonna be losing money because I have to pay something extra I didn't plan on paying," you think, you know what? First thing, it's fair. It's fair enough. I will pay more attention. But most importantly, when you give it away, you kind of wish prosperity. So in this case, it would be for the main of the city or government or whatever it is with your taxes. But the point is to generate a kind of a positive sense when you're giving away money. You're not actually giving it away. You're just sending it away. And if you do it in a positive way, you are rewiring your brain for having a different kind of relationship to money. The same thing when you receive money. And sometimes many people, if we give them money on the hand, they wouldn't know what to do with it. Or sometimes it feels like we have a lot of feelings about money. That's why I'm bringing this as an example. But you could apply this to anything in your life that you feel that you look backwards in many years. It's like something that happens to you and you see other people that don't have the same kind of fate. Well, it's not really fate. It's that we are reinforcing it in a way that we don't understand. And that's the part where not just the behavior, please, definitely. In the classical sense, karma meant your intention of doing something good, your intention of doing something bad, please, definitely. But in this video, I want to go with a little more subtle in our mental actions, so to say, in our emotions. So going back to the example of money, if you will find a way of developing a positive experience every time you give away money, you're actually wishing it for the prosperity of the institution or the company. Like you can imagine all the workers in the company having getting their salary out of your contribution, or you can also imagine that when you receive money, you're very, very grateful, like you really feel it. And if you do that long enough, you're gonna change your reactivity to money, and guess what? Things are gonna sort of change if you really do this. And you want to pick the example of money, do it. But I'm talking in general, your relationships, things that seem to be a nightmare that always come to you back over and over again. It seems like bad luck. Like this is the way I am. There's something about me that is wrong, and that's why I get always this. While all the people are luckier and have all these things. Well, that may not be the case, but that's not something to believe. It's something to explore and experiment. I hope this video is actually giving you clues on how to do that. Please let me know in the comments if you have any specific question with all this, because I understand it's a very huge topic. But nevertheless, I hope it gives you a chance to, for example, you can just pinpoint a lot of things in your behavior, especially in your mental behavior, of things that you're constantly have like negative thoughts or negative feelings, and it just repeats forever, like certain kind of people you attract or certain things that bother you a lot. So instead of giving them power, start thinking in terms of karma. You will start questioning what is active in your mind that will keep reproducing that experience. And it's an interesting experience. You have nothing to lose, right? So you could just go and pick a paper and start thinking, what are the things that constantly repeat in my life to the point that you quitted the idea of your life changing, like having, again, more money or something like that. You feel, oh, I will always be earning more or less the same money. That's just an idea. So whenever you catch on the fly these thoughts in your head, write them down and design, as I was suggesting, with the idea of changing your thoughts and your attitude and your feelings towards money. But you can do that with everything. And as you do that, first thing, your life will start feeling a bit more uplifted, like you don't feel so heavy with these patterns hitting you every single time. You feel, okay, I'm not so sad about giving my money away because it's just going. Money goes, comes and goes all the time. So you just understand, inspire fit, everybody's earning money and giving money all the time. So it's natural to the flow of money. So if you change your paradigm in terms of how you think about money, then things will change. And for that to happen, do it for enough time. I say this because many people think, oh, that's an interesting idea. Okay, I will try to do it next time. No. Commit to yourself to always do it. And even have a journal where you write and do it for, I don't know, I normally say 100 days as an idea of, if you get to 100 days doing it every day, then it's going to be very easy to keep doing that. So I hope this was useful for you. Normally we go a little deeper into more meditation and attention stuff, but I hope this is some way practical, especially re-understanding that it's not just about your good behavior or your bad behavior. Definitely, you want your intentions to be good, but in an inner level, understanding that karma is something that start making the connections between feelings and emotions and thoughts you have and situations. And when they repeat, there you have it. That's karma. It's not a coincidence. And you may say, well, how do you know that? Well, you will know when you change it. And when you flip around some bad stuff that happened to you, then you will become a believer. And it's, again, I'm not suggesting you to change your behavior or to make a huge effort in improving yourself, as you know, normally. I mean, just let it go. If you let things go, things will just go better anyway. So karma is just a temporary tool to improve your life, and you're free to use it. But ultimately, the final realization that you're perfect already the way you are here and now is what really brings the experiences we want, and you let it be more random instead of trying to control everything like the law of attraction thing. Oh, I'm trying to. No, you don't need to just. I would suggest you to apply the karma to the idea of negative things that are affecting you and you don't understand why you have that. Well, just go a little deeper and find these patterns that are in the dark of our mind and they are self-sabotaging our mind. So I hope you found that useful and see you soon.